Yarb.
All right, go, God.
Welcome to Movie Podcast. That's right, Movie the Podcast. It is Remade 2, The Revenge. That's right, remakes being remade again by the boys. Also, shout out
we're
to
back at full power. We're back.
all four of us here.
TJ got his revenge on all of us for something. I'm not sure what.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Well, I mean, I watched it too, so it's not like.
Also,
I'll be perfectly honest. I was really hoping this would be one of those like, it wasn't as bad as I expected. No,
somehow worse.
Sorry, go ahead, guys.
Oh, no, I just want to say a quick shout out to the Boeing company who's never done anything wrong before any of us get murdered by ourselves. Just real shout out, 747, 777, 787s. All sevens are great. This show is brought to you by Boeing, and we will never say anything bad about you.
We also aren't going to weigh in on the Kendrick Drake beef either.
So much.
It's over.
It's a really one-sided battle. Like, it's just been...
It's like I'm not going to weigh in on the Broncos versus the Niners Super Bowl at halftime.
Yeah. Anyway, we watched the Platinum Dunes Nightmare on Elm Street remake, and
Johnny Sand
with Jackie Earle Haley as Freddy Krueger. I was going to say the titular Freddy Krueger, but the movie isn't called Freddy Krueger.
The titular street.
It sucks. Spoiler alert. It's real fucking bad.
It's a shit. And it coming off of Capril, which was one of our highest,
Capril rocked. I guess, Alec, did you get a chance to watch Jackie Brown last week?
I did not.
Sean, did you? Or, I know you're a big fan of the movie.
Yeah, I did.
You have any thoughts on it before we move along?
It was, for some reason it was killing me when you guys couldn't remember Jonathan Nolan's name. I don't know why that stuck out so bad. Not to do with the movie. I mean, you guys covered it, I think TJ said, and I felt it watching the movie about kind of the resolution of it, and that the 90s felt like they were 800 years ago, I think was his quote.
Yeah.
And man, I feel old because Pam Grier's playing somebody who's 42, but she is 45. But the way they've got her done up, even though she is like a smoke show, they've got her done up like she's 62. You know what I mean? Robert Forster probably wasn't that old.
Yeah, they lean into how she should be out to pasture. They try.
Oh man, it's brutal. But yeah, it's a De Niro playing against type. I think it is my favorite Tarantino movie. And I don't know if that's because it's adapted. And I think TJ said it was a brisk 235, which I agree with. And I think that's kind of where he loses me a little bit as he gets older and his movies start to kind of air out a little bit too much.
Well, it's because his editor died.
Yeah, she died. What a selfish bitch. And I don't know.
Well,
it was kind of like the last of his movies that looked old, organically, because Death Proof, which is a movie I've come around on, and even Inglourious Bastards, they kind of look old, but they still look purposefully, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's just because Death Proof's digital, but I don't know, man. It's a banger. Every performance is fantastic. Robert Forster's so fucking good, and
he's fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, what is the song? It's fucking
110th
Street.
Yeah. Oh,
people trying to beat the enemy.
Have you been on since we did the 18? Did you watch the 18?
Yeah, I watched it.
Okay.
I really like the A-Team. I've always been in the bag for that movie. I think the dialogue is fucking atrocious, and I don't know if any of the performances are particularly good. And Patrick Wilson's just eating the whole set, but it's fun. I'm a big Joe Carnahan apologist, so I think God was the only one that didn't like that movie to begin with.
Originally, and I came around.
Ending. Yeah,
I came around. So.
Yeah, so,
if I turn my brain off, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Jackie Brown is a blaxploitation and a noir was right up my alley. It'll only need to be Cyberpunk and be my favorite movie ever. But
hell yeah.
I fucking love Jackie Brown. I think it's perfect.
Yeah, it's really fucking good. Capril was a bunch of bangers for sure. I don't think that
there's 3 genres of movies that we know are good. It's kickboxing, gay, and stealing.
Well, speaking of movies, what did you all watch this week, or since we've been kind of back and forth, just over any period of time?
I watched 5 things.
Oh, wow.
First off, and I didn't fact check this, so I don't know if it's true, but I want to say ROP. R.I.P. Bernard Hill, who played Theoden King in
Lord of the Rings.
Who has like one of the best speeches. Even though I didn't really like his character per se, that speech before they attack Gondor is like one of the best speeches as far as I'm concerned, like in all of the movies.
Doesn't he? Where he says, "Tonight is the night we will draw swords together." That's him, right?
I can't remember if that's that one or that's in Helm's Deep. No, it's daytime when they're fighting. They're basically flanking Sauron's army at
right.
Gondor. He just rides down the line of horsemen, smacking his sword on all their spears as he's like screaming about death and stuff. So R.I.P. Bernard Hill.
Yeah, I just saw that like 2 seconds
I literally don't even know anything else he's been in.
Apparently Game of Thrones, but I don't remember.
Oh, I don't remember him from that at all.
Yeah.
But then again, everybody was in Game of Thrones.
Right, yeah. If you were like British or Australian, you were probably Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Sean, you were one of the concubines. I remember.
You were one of the sand snakes.
Not loose butthole.
Ooh, the sand snakes.
I was the girl that said you like the bad pussy. That was me. I did the line reading for that.
Oh, that chick was so hot. Dear Lord, that girl was attractive.
So I watched
as hot as bad as the line was.
Yeah, 100%.
I watched the new. I don't know what animation. The new Migration. It's the new animated movie. It's about ducks migrating.
I think Gogs watched. Did you watch that, Gogs? I thought you did. Oh, it's
fine. It's fine.
I didn't see it.
Like, I used to be big on a lot of the animated movies, but for the most part, they're all just like fine now. I don't find any of them great. I don't find any of them bad. They're all inoffensive.
Isn't Danny DeVito in that one? Yeah.
Danny DeVito, Kumail Nanjiani.
Is Aquafina in that one?
Yeah, she's in it. I think Elizabeth Banks is in it. I think it's good. It's not bad, but it's just those movies now are getting to be almost kind of like placeholders. Like, I got nothing else to watch. Like, oh, we'll watch this. You know, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Rewatched an absolute banger. Malibu's Most Wanted.
Oh wow! I haven't seen that.
Thought about that movie in years.
The movie fucking slaps. It's so funny. It's not appropriate at all for our current climate, but it's so funny. Jamie Kennedy's. It's like the one movie he's like really good in, except for when he's the production assistant in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and Chris Rock just keeps throwing coffee at his face.
Forgot about that.
I watched this movie. It was only an hour and like 5 minutes long. I can't remember what it was. Something original. It was either Tubi original or Crackle original. It was one of those two. It was an original.
Right.
It's an animated movie. It's called Pasta Apocalypse.
Pasta Apocalypse.
And pasta turns into zombies and starts eating people. It's only an hour.
It's really me on it.
It's really bad, but like, if I would have watched it like stoned, it probably would have been like my favorite movie ever. It's barely like an hour long. I think it was like an hour and 8 minutes or an hour and 10 minutes.
Right.
But it's real bad. It's this guy, the guy who directed it, like directs all kinds of animation stuff, but nothing you ever heard of. Like, he probably has like a website that he directs animations for or something.
Right.
It's not very good. But I don't know what I expected from a Crackle original.
Hey man, we love Crackle here. It's a pro Crackle show, so.
And the next two movies I watched are Roadhouse and Roadhouse.
Oh no. Also, cool. Here's my pick for remake.
I think that was Cogs's pick, yeah. So
I watched it before. We watched it before you guys recorded last week.
Yeah.
But I won't have to watch it again.
That's true.
I might watch it.
I guess you don't want to watch it. Oh, wait, okay, you do.
It's excuse me. It's fucking wild. Like, it's not good.
Oh.
But it's also not. It's also not like.
Oh, it's not good.
It's not bad in a bad way. Like Jake Gyllenhaal is fully leaning into how stupid this movie is. Like he gets it. He's like Ryan Gosling in some of the stuff he does. Like you can tell he understands this is a stupid fucking movie for stupid people. Conor McGregor is the fucking worst. Oh my God. Like I don't.
He's just like walking around like a gorilla the whole time, right? Like he's just
pretty much, but he has a bunch of dialogue that he can't deliver at all. It sounds like cutscenes from a Konami game. It's so like he's so bad. But yeah, he's like the heavy, and I get it. It's Conor McGregor, like he's an MMA, like maybe the best ever. But like Jake Gyllenhaal is like twice as big as him. So as like the big heavy, he's not like super intimidating unless you know he's Conor McGregor, and like I would venture most people wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, and it also like the language of film, right? They should have gotten like a professional wrestler or something. You know what I mean? Somebody that's like
you bigger. need somebody first who's like the big heavy, and he beats him, and this guy comes in, and you're like, oh, he's the little guy, but then he totally.
You know what they should have done?
It should have been
they should have cast Peter Dinklage instead of Jake Gyllenhaal.
And one of the robots from Real Steel.
Sassy boy or whatever.
Yeah.
Noisy boy.
Noisy boy.
Did he say, did the line, I fucked bigger guys than you in prison come back in this version?
There's no way.
Oh, too bad.
There's no way.
He did not.
Which version did you like better? Because can you agree that the end of the original Roadhouse is absolutely insane?
It is. Like, the end of both movies is fucking insane. I would say I liked the original better. It's
also not good.
No, it's not good.
Ton of fun though.
But like, it's a classic for a reason. Like, it's a cult classic for a reason. Like, I don't think the second Roadhouse is gonna ever be like a cult classic.
And like Patrick Swayze has a lot of charisma. I think that carries the movie a lot.
Yeah, he does. But I would definitely say watch the second one, and I guess you guys are gonna have to.
Yeah, well, that's presumable. If that
I'm not veering from course, so yes.
Okay, all right.
It's something. It's something. You guys will have thoughts on it, but it's like.
I like that.
Yeah.
Does anyone get called Miho?
I don't think so. Not that I recall.
What have they done to this movie?
Basically, it's Jake Gyllenhaal smirking for 2.5 hours, just beating the shit out of people, which is fine.
I do like that Jake Gyllenhaal though.
I heard he looked pretty yoked for this role.
He is in the movie. He's like an MMA fighter. Like,
well, correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't we watching a UFC thing where he like showed up, and I guess that was for the movie? Like they because
he does like a full intro. And they did it like at an actual MMA.
I think we were at God's house watching it. Like I want to say like it was because we were like, why is Jake Gyllenhaal there? And like it was a while ago, like a couple of years ago.
Well,
I could be
a lot of guys in prison say Jake Gyllenhaal's gay, but I don't know. He seems pretty strong.
Pretty strong to me. Oh Jesus.
That's all I watched. Goggles.
Oh my god.
I watched 1.5 things, one of which is tabled, the other half tabled. And I could actually use some help from the group if y'all wouldn't mind. I'm trying to find my kids ever since watching the Ninja Turtles movie, the newest one. They really want to watch like a Jackie Chan film.
Oh.
And I'm trying to find one that's like appropriate for them. Like we tried watching the Tuxedo. We got through half of it, but that movie's not very good. And at some point,
I think Rumble in the Bronx would be a good starting.
I was going to say Rumble in the Bronx is like, it's a lot of fighting, but there's nothing like crazy. Is there any? I don't remember anything like
sex and violence or like blood or anything. Yeah. Okay,
I
I'll
mean,
give
like,
that a
remember, I think, didn't we do it on the show? I think we did.
yeah.
Like, there's
Is that
like a
the one where he's
subplot,
like?
there's a
Is that,
subplot where like his niece is like part of the gang and they're like, oh no, you're dressing sexy, but she literally just has like a skirt on. Like, I think,
this
you know,
one,
It's in Chinese, and how fast is their reading?
not good.
there you go.
And this one opened with like Jackie Chan trying to like talk through himself. I don't know if you have all seen the Tuxedo. I've seen half of it now.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
It opens with him like warming himself up to like try and hit on some girl like they sees through a plate glass window working at a gallery, and he's like, when I see you, you gave me a wet dream, and I'm like, well, that's an interesting first 5 minutes for me to try and deal with.
A lot of like Jackie Chan movies are kind of horny, but they're like horny in like the like Looney
Betty
Tunes
Hill kind of way. Yeah.
yeah.
Jackie Chan was like real protective of his image. I don't think he's in any like really like, I don't know, The Foreigners, like the only movie I can think of that's like really serious and really violent. Like,
well, some of the police
like
story
super
stuff.
police story, like but it's more like just stunt violence. It's not like it's the killer or anything.
No.
Foreigner's dope. Oh, yeah,
that's a really good movie. No, but anyway. I think any of the stuff that they re-released in America should be fine. Like Rumble in the Bronx, Super Cop, I think would be cool. You know what I mean? Like, I think they'd be.
I'll try Rumble in the Bronx. But anyway,
Rumble in the Bronx is good because like it's like pretty light and it's full of action. Like Super Cop's actually kind of dry, so I think they'd like it.
Yeah, the half of the Tuxedo I saw was fine. It wasn't great. It was fine. He's fun in it because he's fun in most things.
I love Jackie Chan. I wish
Jennifer Love Hewitt was terrible in it, but that's
Jackie Chan's one of those people.
Make him watch one of those.
Go ahead, Sean.
I was gonna say, make him watch one of those real dry Romance of the Three Kingdoms fucking dramas he did later on. They have a bunch of questions about Chinese history.
The super pro Chinese movies, yeah. Jackie Chan's one of those people that I love to death, but I wish I didn't know more about him as a person in real life because apparently he's like a huge piece of shit, and it really bums me out.
Oh, is he?
Oh, he's like apparently he's terrible. Like he has like a bunch of kids that he doesn't take care of, and like he's like a misogynist, and it's like, oh, that's a real shame. Because I love Jackie Chan. Like I think Jackie Chan's the best. But like,
sounds like he should be a cornerback of the Jets. Anyway, we're
wait, what?
Another movie
reference?
That's it. Is
was that what that was?
He took care of his kids. My God! To be fair,
in present year, you're thinking of Antonio Rogers Cromartie, I think.
That's what it is. Yeah. Anywho, the other thing we watched,
he just had a lot of kids. He took care of them.
Did he?
This motherfucker out here making fucking Travis Henry jokes. Like, goddamn it, 2024, leave him alone.
I was just gonna say, like,
I'm working with whatever I can remember. That ain't much.
Tyreek Hill had three kids in the past like 12 months.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
Man, setting up franchises. Do you want to talk about? I will pass the mic to TJ. I want to talk about the other thing that's tabled, unless anyone else watched The Fall Guy.
Yeah, I watched two things. One thing that isn't tabled, so I'll start with the thing that's not tabled. I watched, I already forgot her name, but she is David Cronenberg's daughter, Brandon Cronenberg's sister. I believe it's Caitlin Cronenberg. Her debut feature film called Humane. And I was really looking forward to it because much like her brother's films, not so much David's films, like Brandon Cronenberg is a lot like Yorgos Lanthimos. So he makes what I like to call rule movies, where like there's some weird premise that like kind of propels the entire plot. So the idea in this movie, it's called Humane, and the idea of this movie is at a certain point in the not too distant future, the population has ballooned to a point where it's you're basically in like a doomsday scenario where if we don't reduce the population, like the Earth is just done, which is not too far from reality.
I've seen clips
like a Thanos.
I've seen clips from this on like TikTok. Is it gonna Jay Butcherell and Peter something or other? Is it the father?
Yes. Yep.
Peter Gallagher, maybe.
That is his name, I believe. Yeah. But anyway, the idea is that the government implements this system where if you, I forget the word they use, enlist or register
It's like
or whatever.
it's like a draft.
Yeah, it's not at first, but they talk about during the course of the movie that the government is going to implement a draft. But the idea is that if you volunteer to like kill yourself or basically be euthanized by the state, then they'll pay your family money and all this stuff. And that in and of itself, that premise is not terrible. The problem is,
Sorry to cut you off. My favorite episode of Sliders has the same premise. Where they go to a planet where the girl with the group, I can't remember her name, wins the lottery, and they like give her all this money and they pamper her, and she's like living the high life. She's like high and rich, but they don't realize at first that the lottery means that in 30 days they kill you,
right?
Because of overpopulation.
Isn't that also the plot of The Lottery by Shirley Jackson?
Well, kind of.
Are you telling me that Sliders ripped something off?
But Humane has like an interesting enough premise. The problem is that the plot is about, and this is where the movie loses me completely, because the movie is about this family that's getting together. Like Alex just said, the father is that Gallagher guy. If you saw his face, he's been in like a million movies, but they're all like the family's very affluent. Like the father was like a mainstay on like he was like a Anderson Cooper type guy. Like he'd been on TV for like 20 years and like was very well known and famous. The mother was this famous chef. And then the rest of the kids are just these like what's his name? Jay, I always forget his name. You just said his fucking name. Yeah, so he's like he plays this like government like liaison to the media. But anyway, my point is that they're all very affluent, and therefore I don't care about them like at all. So what happens is that the dad brings them together for this dinner, and he's like he chooses the dinner to tell them that the him and his wife, the mother and the father, are going to they've taken the decision to get euthanized by the government. And then what happens is the state euthanasia truck shows up. The mother gets cold feet and runs away, and basically the euthanasia people have a conversation with the father and explains to him, well, you know, if you get cold feet, then you basically get put on this like cowards list, and there's this whole who's the fudge. And then there's also this kind of thing where these guys aren't the euthanasia people are basically subcontractors, which is kind of funny. So they're like basically in it to line their own pockets. They're like a proxy of the government. They're not with the government, but that part is like, there's so many little interesting ideas in this movie. The problem is that the main plot, I don't care. So what happens is the mom gets cold feet, the dad dies, but the head euthanasia guy is like, well, I need a body. Like, I don't get paid unless like the contract says 2 bodies. So I need a body. So the rest of you kids need to figure out which one of you is going to die, or I'll pick who's going to die. And then the rest of the movie is them bickering back and forth and attempting to kind of kill each other. And then they don't kill each other. And it's just, I want them all to die because they're all just rich, annoying assholes.
Why the first Purge doesn't work particularly well, because it's like it's focused on Ethan Hawke's rich family, get it, hunted by some other rich assholes.
It's actually that's a really good comparison, actually, like excellent comparison, because it's like that's the same problem I had with that movie.
Sean.
Thanks, buddy.
And like it's just really frustrating because like I like the world building in this movie. I just don't like the plot that they chose to because I don't know who I'm supposed to like root for, because I don't care. Like it's not like they even portray these people, these kids. I call them kids, but they're all, you know, adults. But they don't portray them like they're all shitheads. So I don't know, like, what am I watching this for? Like, I'm rooting for them all to die. And it's a very odd movie. And like, the guy that is like the head euthanasia guy is like real jokey, and it just doesn't work. Like, I don't know.
next or is aware that you want all the rich people to get killed, would it work better? Can you hear me?
Try that again. You were breaking up real bad.
I said if your next were the movie where that you want all the characters to die, would it work better?
I mean, I guess. I don't know. It's just, again, I think it works better if, like, I kind of like the way, I mean, I'm glad you brought up The Purge, because it's a great comparison, because, like, I felt like the Purge movies didn't get better until they pulled the camera back and they started dealing with more, like different characters, and they kind of focus more on the world itself. I'm not saying those Purge movies are great, but there's a couple of good ones in there. Maybe it's just one. The second one I thought was pretty good. The one with Frank Grillo, I
think
really
there's two of them with Frank Grillo. I think they're both kind of good. I think the third one's the one you're thinking of, though.
But the first one is terrible because it's just like, I don't give a shit about these rich people. And also, like, their problems are silly. And, like, it's the same with this movie. They're literally just, these kids are literally bickering over money, like, the whole time. And then they're like, you know, I don't want to die because I'm a selfish prick. And it's just like, I don't know. The movie needed, like, a different draft or something, because there's ideas in there. And but, like, it's just not very good. And I was disappointed. I really I love, like, you know, big premise movies, and this just wasn't it for me. So, the thing that was tabled was Gogs and I watched The Fall Guy this afternoon.
Shout out to David Cronenberg for naming his kids normal names.
Yeah.
Not giving them weird Hollywood Nepo baby names.
Yeah, well, he's from Toronto, so that's probably why. He's Canadian.
No Apple Cronenberg.
Yeah. So we watched it was The Fall Guy, right?
It's The Fall Guy, which is actually the name of the show. The TV.
If this movie is not good, I might jump off a cliff because it looks so fucking good.
I loved it.
It's a ton of fun.
It's like not like it's not like you know, a fucking Best Picture nominee, but it is a blast. It's like a really fun action comedy, and I thought that the jokes mostly landed, and all of the set pieces, like all the action is directed really well, and like the stunts, like Gogs said it after we left, but the movie's like a love letter to stunts and like stuntmen, and I think they did a great job. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a blast.
Yeah, it was, so the guy, David Leitch, directed it. The same guy directed Deadpool 2 and
John Wick.
Hobbs. Yeah, John Wick and Hobbs versus Shaw.
Well, he didn't direct John Wick, right?
He was like a co-director, but he was like
first one.
The first one, he wasn't. He was like an uncredited co-director of the first one.
Is he the one that's Keanu Reeves' stunt double, or is it the other one?
I think it's the other one.
Yeah, but he also was a stunt performer.
Yeah, he was a stunt man and a stunt coordinator.
I don't know if they're just going to do this at AMC theaters, but like in a weird like pre-roll to the movie, there's like a little segment with Baby Goose and this guy, and they like talk about the movie, and they're like, "Thanks for coming to our movie." It was weird, but he even says he's like, "I used to be a stunt man" or something. So,
but the movie was fun. Baby Goose at the premiere dressed as Beavis and Butthead.
I thought that was awesome. Yeah, that was hilarious. He's really good in this movie. I mean, big shock to no one. Like Ryan Gosling is great. I mean, I kind of like him like settling into this. Like, I think he started with Barbie. This like he's really good at comedy. Like he's
only doing comedies from now on because of his family from bullshit.
Like the nice guy, he's basically being very similar to his character from The Nice Guys, which I think we all love that role for him.
He's really good in this movie, and he's funny, and like. The thing that I was most surprised by is like the movie isn't concerned with like being realistic. Like it's like really silly. Like it's almost like an absurdist comedy at times. Like it's very goofy, and I feel like I don't know. When I saw the trailer, that was the one thing I was worried about. If it was like going to be a movie that was like worried about being like cool, and it's actually quite the opposite. It's a very silly and goofy. It does not take itself seriously whatsoever. And I loved it. Gogs, you can have the floor.
No, I mean, so TJ didn't watch this. My wife didn't watch it. Sean and Alec, did you watch The Fall Guy with Lee Majors back when you were kids?
I remember it, but I don't know that I watched it like regularly.
Yeah.
It was like Dukes of
I knew the
Hazzard,
song.
A-Team.
Yeah.
Dukes of
Oh, they
Hazzard,
play the
A-Team,
song at
Fall
the end of the
Guy.
movie.
Yeah, they play the
Pretty
song at
sick.
the end of the movie. For me, so like that was like one of like the trio of shows I would watch with my parents all the time. I loved that show. So I thought the idea of them making a movie was wild, especially like 30 something years later. Um, it's a ton of fun. Like all the stunts are done. Like it's like they're making it a point to tell you that they're all practical stunts. One of the stunts that in this weird fourth wall breaking thing, like a stunt that they shoot in the movie, they're like, oh, we're going to get the record for most, they call it a cannon roll, like rolling a truck side by side, like over its side, right? You're going for 8.5. So they do it in the plot of the film, but they also did it on the set and set the world record for most rolls by a truck. So it's like, they're doing all this crazy shit. Like I watched after I got home from seeing it with TJ today, I watched like this little like 12-minute like sit down with Ryan Gosling, his stuntman and director, talking about all the stunts Ryan Gosling did, how they shot all this stuff practical. And then like during the credits, they show you how they shoot all the stunts. And it's like, if you like movies and like you like how movies are made, because like the whole opening sequence of this thing is before the plot kicks off, you're following, I think I said Ryan Reynolds before, excuse me, Ryan Gosling through the set.
I've been saying that all day today. I kept calling him Ryan Reynolds.
One of them handsome Ryans. But they follow him as Colt Seavers through the set, like trying to get coffee. They're talking about the rig. They're talking about the shots. And it seems like it's like it was shot from a place where it's very genuine. They want you to they want to show what it feels like to be a stuntman on set. And like, here's all the precautions. Here's all the things we do. Here's how we do it. And it was really cool. And like, I don't know, all the movie jargon was great. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, like TJ, it's not like, there's no message here. It's not setting the world on fire.
It is the definition of a popcorn movie. But everybody's really good in it. The guy that played M'Baku in Black Panther, I can't think of that actor's name. He was wonderful. Emily Blunt and Baby Goose have really good chemistry. I thought like they both were really as cheesy as like, you know, I feel like a lot of times, especially in action movies, like the romance feels like super forced. Like it actually felt pretty natural in this movie. Like, and the movie is like the through line through the movie is a love story between the two of them. Yeah. And it works. Like it actually like it feels organic. It doesn't feel super forced. And it's not like glommed on as much as you would probably think. Like, I don't know. For a movie that's like very silly and very like kind of A to B, it's written really well, I thought. Like it's not, you know what I mean? Like it's not like overwritten and it's not corny. Like,
all the romance parts that seem like they're glommed on, they immediately like counterpunch you by lampshading how silly those scenes are in movies. Like there's a scene where Ryan Reynolds is listening to like a song. God damn it, Ryan Gosling. Like, listen to a song in a truck reminiscing about his past love life, and it's interrupted by, you know, his girl knocking on the window. You
find out it's literally like he's having like flashback moments, and then they cut to like him literally just sitting in his car crying, and like Emily Blunt's like, "Are you all right?" Like it was good. It was very good. I was pleasantly surprised by that movie.
Hannah Waddington from Ted Lasso's great in it. Aaron Taylor Johnson, who I don't typically care for, is really good in it, doing like a McConaughey. It's really good.
He's good in it. The daughter from Everything Everywhere All at Once is in it, and she's good. She's not in it for very long, but she's good in it.
No,
but yeah,
big
solid movie.
It's right now it's sitting my number 2 of 2024 new releases. So I haven't seen much, but it's just under Dune 2.
You mean it climbed above Madam Web?
It climbed above Madam Web. And here's something that's wild that me and TJ were supposed to go see Boy Kills World this weekend. And it like basically got pulled from theaters, it seems like last Thursday. I don't think they gave it a week. So I don't know what happened there.
It's crazy. That thing had a week-long theatrical run. It's like, goddamn. But yeah, that's all I watched. That's all Gogs watched. So, Sean.
Oh, I'm taking watching movies to strange new places by not watching any movies, but I did watch the Fallout show, all of it.
Oh, what'd you think?
I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I really
enjoyed it. Like I think somebody was talking about it on the last episode, how hard it is to nail that tone. And maybe they try and steer a little too goofy sometimes, but I think the idea of making the kind of the pivot of that the Walton Goggins like relationship with his wife I thought was kind of smart because
Yeah,
it
I
gets
like
to
that a
pull
lot.
you out of it for a little bit and reset. Also
Yeah,
nice
I
to
agree.
like have a I know it's gonna sound weird, but TJ maybe you'll sign off to like have a lead black woman who's also kind of evil. Like
I
you
mean,
know what I mean?
with
Like
the twist
it's
too, to
weirdly
have her.
progressive.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's a twist in the show because like you kind of expect her to be, and I guess maybe it's because of your expectation of how those characters are usually portrayed, but like you
Yeah,
expect that she just works at Voltec, she doesn't know what's going on, and then you
right.
find out, oh no no no, she
No,
she
no, no,
knows,
no.
yeah, she
It just
knows
hit
a lot.
him
Also, the
having to
fact that
listen.
that fucking what's his name from New Vegas shows up in that scene at the end, Mr. Hands.
Yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, oh
I,
fuck,
I I was
so good.
completely thrown off and watching it with the old lady, and she's like, "Oh, that's the guy from Sex and the City talking about Kyle MacLachlan," and I'm like, "Ew!"
Oh,
Like I almost left. Like, don't call him that.
you were like, if you said Dale Cooper, I'd be fine with that, or
Yeah,
the Kwisatz Haderach, but yeah,
or hey, that's the guy from Blue Velvet, or
or
anything. But
yeah, or
no.
anything.
But
Yeah,
no,
Kyle MacLachlan's still great.
Walton Goggins is the fucking best. I mean, he's just
Yeah,
awesome. They did a good job. And I think the fact that they get away from the vault so much, it like helps because it's a really drab setting. You know what I mean? Like it
yeah,
looks like it should. But there's a bunch
yeah,
of little Easter eggs like what is it, the psycher from New Vegas, Ma, or not from New Vegas, from 4. Was it Ma Murphy or
yeah,
whatever?
yeah.
She's in it. Like it's like silly, gross, but it is like intensely serious at some points. I thought they did a really good job. I thought the Brotherhood of Steel Cat was good.
Yeah, I
Michael,
really
my
liked
favorite
it.
part was Michael Rappaport bleeding to death by himself. Like,
Yeah,
I
amen
wish
to
that
that.
happened for reals. Uh,
Yeah,
'Cause fuck that guy.
yeah, he
But
sucks.
no, it was really good. And 8 episodes is perfect. All TV series should be 8 episodes, and that is it. 8 hours is enough to tell a story. Like, it doesn't need to
And
be 12.
it ends perfectly. Like it ends with
Yeah.
just enough where you want it told the whole story, but like now I want more. Like give me
Yeah.
more. I can't wait for season 2.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed it. But, yeah.
Yeah, Alec
And then
and Alex, you guys need to watch it.
I
and
watched
then
most of it. I didn't finish it yet.
what'd you think?
Yeah,
So far, I really like it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I got like 2 or 3 episodes left.
that's cool.
And then I watched this Freddy movie. Like
Ugh.
before we start, like this came out in 2010, and if you go back and look at movies that came out in 2010, that was a grim year for movies. Like it's like Elevator was one of them, and like it was just a bad. I think the best movie that came out that year was Inception, and that's about it.
Oh, Gogs and I, speaking of a bad time for movies, so we saw the trailer for the new M. Night Shyamalan movie that is written by his wife or daughter. I don't
Daughter, I
know.
believe.
Yeah,
Daughter.
so I can't wait for that. It looked fucking terrible. It was like, okay, cool. And they called it an M. Night Shyamalan experience.
Ooh, yeah, that's one way to put it.
I think I blacked out of what the plot was. It was something about people
I don't
disappearing
know.
or aliens in the. Was it holes? Oh no, it was people having to like stand in a box for
I
people
mean,
to jack off at or
I think the
something.
fucking beginning of the movie like showed that the girl, the lead character, I assume, is like a serial killer. And
You
Oh,
then
I thought she was
thought
just a prostitute.
that's not what I took. Like, cause like she's like it's something I do, and then they show like missing posters. Who knows? I don't
No, I
know.
think
I
the
don't.
missing posts were all the people that went to the woods to be part of the jack off box.
you
Oh,
would have thought after people saw Old, they would have been like, you know what, go ahead and pack him up. He's done.
there's people that like
GG.
that fucking movie,
It's
dude.
like
I
who?
see. Yeah,
Or
I
no,
know.
I didn't even mean Old, but that
Knock at the
also is
cabin.
terrible. Knock at the cabin.
I mean, Knock at the Cabin was better than Old.
It
Yeah, but I
was.
mean, still, getting your dick ripped off, I guess, is better than like getting your dick punched off. Like I
I mean,
didn't know.
Old was so fucking bad. And what was it? Mid-sized sedan. That's a rap name. Like I still can't get over that one. All right. So yeah. I want to. I know Alex usually the Wikipedia guy, but the director of this movie, his I've never seen this before. His Wikipedia. He's only made one movie, which was this, and then it's like it's like proposed projects that he wasn't involved with, but like his name was floated around to direct like Monsters Ball and like I've never seen a director like that. Like he's got one movie, but like he could have directed a bunch of these other movies, but he didn't. It's like what the?
Wait, do you ever watch Parks and Rec?
Oh yeah,
You seen the episode where they're at the William Henry Harrison Museum,
Oh yeah.
he
and they have
died in 30 days.
and there's the whole like the majority of the exhibit is the hall of what if he hadn't died,
Oh shit!
and it's
I
like
haven't seen that.
Great Depression ends in 2 days, like stuff like that.
Actually, I was watching Parks and Rec the other day, and it kind of bummed me out because I thought Gogs invented saying pepperoni like that, but I guess it was from that show.
Oh no, yeah, that's 100% John Ralphio. No,
I was kind of hurt. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sorry. No, I hope I hope I didn't misrepresent myself.
No,
I didn't come up with
you do
pepperoni.
pepperonis. No, you do say things weird, so I just always assume this is more interesting than the movie. By the way,
So,
like, did you see
the
that?
guy? The guy that directed this movie is named Sam David Bayer, and yeah, he's only directed one movie, and that was in 2010.
What
But
movie was that?
the wording that they use on Wikipedia is unrealized projects. Bayer had been attached to direct various different films over the years, such as Monsters Ball, the Sylvester Stallone Get Carter, a canceled remake of Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia. There you go, Sean. That's a good movie.
Man,
Oh hell yeah!
A canceled.
that's the movie Sean wanted to watch, and we ended up watching Les Samurai.
Yeah, but that movie fucking rules.
Yeah, it's really good. Listen to these remakes. A canceled remake of Vanishing Point. A canceled remake of Near Dark by
They've already
Platinum
remade
Dunes.
Vanishing Point. Viggo Mortensen's in it.
Blackwater Transit. Wasn't that
What was that?
that was
I think Darkwater Transit, the band.
Oh, he was one of the Boys directors when they were going to make that into a movie, and that's it. That's like all this guy is. It's like he could have directed all these movies, but he didn't. Like I've never seen that on a Wikipedia.
He has a insanely deep music video bench, though.
Yeah, he made the Smells Like Teen Spirit video. That's pretty impressive.
That's a fucking banger of a video.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's directed a lot of music videos.
A lot of
He directed No Rain, the Bumblebee girl.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of big videos.
Gogs, tell us
Anyway.
the plot of the original Nightmare on Elm Street so we can just get this over with.
The sad thing is, it's not even the plot. It's like
What's the greatest hits?
This movie.
Well,
Okay, so let's
Also,
just
this
get it over
movie
with.
has like a fucking this has like another one of these movies that is befuddling like 5 writers, and it has a story by credit that's not Wes Craven, and it's like, huh? Like, what? Excuse me? Like, it's very odd.
All right. So, anywho, movie opens. Diner, tweaker, coffee, emo kid, other kids, blonde chick, dreamy time, cuts own throat. Movie starts. Kids continue to die.
Hey, can I bring up a weird point of order?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I don't want to
don't
derail
care.
this because this movie sucks. Like, this movie
shit.
sucks more dick than a Bryan Singer pool party.
Hey,
In the lore of, and I haven't seen, it occurs to me, I haven't seen the first Nightmare on Elm Street nearly as much as I've seen 3, 4, and 5, so forgive me. But
Yeah.
like, in the lore of that, when he cuts you in the dream, like, he cuts you for real, you just don't see it. But this,
Well,
like,
here's
he cuts his own throat with a knife
they
like
do
this.
They do it both ways in this movie. It doesn't
Yeah, they
follow
have
That's what I'm
the
saying.
rules.
It's goofy.
But in the lore of the originals, like, there is no like transubstantiation. It's just you
No.
got invisible slashed, right?
Right.
Yes.
Or you wake up in
Okay.
a water bed.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
There's that sort of shit. This one, so the first kid kills himself, allegedly. And then, like, I don't know, everyone's girlfriend gets sad or some shit. Rumi Namara's like hanging out with the kid from Jennifer's Body.
Rooney
And
Mara.
Rooney Mara.
Rooney Mara, yes.
I do not give a shit. So now, all these kids are falling asleep in history class, and they start dying in unironic ways, and the best ways to die in Elm Street movies, ironically. So, like, it's just Jackie Earle Haley just doing a voice where his
She's called Jackie Earle Haley, like it's a Mad Magazine parody.
no, but I will.
Okay.
But also,
telling,
like they kill. They don't even have fun with these kills. These kills are so boring.
They're boring and benign.
The whole movie's boring.
Yeah,
it's like the blandest thing about something nightmarish.
and then they have the nerve to like remake some of the iconic stuff from the original, like the scene where Freddy like comes through the wall, but it's like
It
in this
looks
really
like
bad
shit.
CG, and it looks like garbage. And it's like, bro, they fucking made this shit like in the 80s, and it looked fantastic, and now it looks awful. Like, I don't understand. Like,
We've all seen, well, I think maybe all of us except Alec, maybe Alec too. We've all seen Never Sleep Again, right? The fucking 9-hour documentary about, and like the rig that
Our
they had
movie
to
was
build.
so gay and nobody knew it but us.
yeah, that's the
But
best
they had to
one.
build that rig to make that room rotate so that,
Yeah.
was it Johnny Depp or whoever was flopping around the bitch, right?
And a young Christopher Nolan was like, I'm going to remember this for later.
And they just did it like sloppy, lazy, like CGI. Like, this movie is very 2010. Like, this might have been the end of the new metal age. Is this the beginning of the new metal era? It's just,
It does feel like
just
one of those Dimension, like, Dracula
feels
2000 type movies.
like just super cheap and just like blah. But anywho, Freddy kills everybody or starts killing people. And then Tawny Katane or whatever her name is like, I don't know why you can't remember preschool. And, like, what's his name? The head guard from Shawshanks, like, keep eating your pills.
Clancy Brown, yeah.
And
Yeah, they're all taking Repress It All.
Then, they repress
exactly.
it all. Yeah, they're taking that shit from Equilibrium. So now they go, they didn't learn Gunkata. They get,
Better movie.
they break into the world's most spacious attic and find all the evidence that no one thought to burn. And they're like, oh, Freddy Krueger, we went to the same preschool, and then the gardener got framed by us because we were lying kids, and you guys roasted him to death in an old factory house building, and then maybe we need to just put his bones to rest. And oh, also, wait, never mind, he was a diddler, and here's some dirty Polaroids.
This is one of the weirdest parts of this movie, because the things that they try to add to this movie to make it different is there's like a red herring that like Freddy might have actually been innocent, which it makes
somewhat interesting
sense.
Though, if they did it that way.
If they stuck to it, but then again, if he was innocent, then like the way he carries himself murdering them doesn't make a lot of sense either. Like it's a very odd,
like, yeah, like
it's a very odd choice. Like it's a weird choice to be like, haha, he might have been innocent the whole time, and it's like, he's not. It's Freddy, like, you know what I mean? Like there's no,
was this after sympathetic Michael Myers from
I think
it had to be, yeah. No,
I think it's
after, right?
Is it? I don't know.
No, those Halloween movies I think came out like 2005.
Rob Zombie tried to do the same thing.
This movie just brought me back to like the worst. Like this is like to me worse than like the new metal era of horror movies where
it's even worse
all the
than
Platinum Dunes remakes. Like they were all so bad.
Well, I was like, there's no way this is worse than the Friday the 13th remake, because I remember seeing this movie and I was like, well, Jackie Earle Haley's good, which he's not, but it's not really his fault because the movie's so bad and there's nothing for him to do.
The voice he's doing is awful. Like, what the fuck?
He's doing like pedo Rorschach.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
He kind of sucks in general. He's got like one good movie.
Who, Jackie Earle Haley?
Yeah.
I mean, he's good in The Bad News Bears. He's good in Shutter Island.
He was good in that terrible Preacher show, even though that show was terrible.
He's good in Little Children, but he isn't in a lot of good movies. But like, he had to be like, okay, people are going to love this. It's Freddy. I'm going to get 7 movies out of this. I don't think any of those Platinum Dunes got a sequel, except maybe the Texas Chainsaw.
No, the Texas Chainsaw
got another remake.
Yeah. No, the Texas Chainsaw had a sequel. It had a sequel. It was a prequel to the first one, technically. But they did make 2.
Prequel to a remake is.
They were very it sucks because those were like, even though they're both bad, they're both like really successful, and that's why they kept making all these other New Line remakes, all these Platinum Dune remakes.
The Friday the 13th is the first movie I saw in the theater with TJ and Gogs.
Is that right?
It is.
That movie sucks shit. I'm sorry about that.
You liked it when we walked out. I do remember that.
Did I?
It's like, I don't know if I can be friends with this guy.
Well, I'm wrong about a lot of stuff, it turns out. Maybe I do like it. I got to
It
revisit it.
happens.
But yeah, this movie's just joyless and sad. They kill Freddy, okay, but they don't. He comes back. It's over, right? Who gives a fuck? Jackie Earle Haley, his voice is just, why did you say never heard? But like, he's not doing any of the fun Freddy voice. Like, he's not even like being like.
He's not telling jokes. He's not doing anything. Freddy.
He's just like
they missed the whole point of Freddy.
Yeah. You guys know the first movie probably better than me, and I'm assuming, I don't know, Alec, but he's not like super silly in the first movie, right? Like that doesn't come till later on.
But even in the first movie,
but he's like interesting.
Yeah.
Well, even in the first movie, there's the famous scene where Nancy's got the phone to her ear and the tongue comes out. Like, there is like kind of that more like playful element in the first one, but he's much more like menacing. And Sean, you said it to me, analog, but you're like the biggest one of the big problems with this movie is that Freddy's in it too much, and I totally agree with you with that because in the original, like he's like menacing because like he's in the periphery, you know what I mean? Like
it's like a Jaws thing almost.
Yeah. And when he shows up, it's like, holy shit. But even when he shows up, you know, he's mostly like cast in shadow and you know what I mean? Like he's not.
Yeah. Or it's the long arms or And that makeup isn't reflective of how a burned person would look, but it looks cool. Like it's very cinematic.
Oh, you
when
mean
they try and go in the original. In the new one, it's like, oh, this is what a burned person looks like, and it's so fucking bland.
It just doesn't have any character to it. It just looks like, oh, again, like, I feel like there was this push for a lot of these, like, well, we got to make it more, like, realistic. And it's like, who wants that? Like,
we need our nightmare demon to be more grounded.
Yeah.
Nope. But anyway, what else, Gogs?
I guess, was it supposed to be implied that the glove was like a gardening implement?
That was the way in the original, yeah.
Was it really? Oh, okay. Well, then what have you? Never mind.
Well, and like they in one of them, he's literally like Edward Scissorhandsing it, like he's like on the shrubs, like yeah.
I brought this up to TJ analog, and I'll probably regret saying this out loud, but like I thought it was a weird choice to make him like a pedophile, but then also be horny for them when they're older. Like,
I mean, he's loyal.
Oh, is that what it is? It was real love then. It wasn't just
make a lot of sense. Also, like, I don't. The choice to make him like an explicit pedophile is fucking stupid. Yeah. Like, it's not. It doesn't add anything. Like, and I guess the director or the writer was like, well, Wes Craven wanted that in the original. It's like, yeah, well, he hinted at it, and that's fine. Yeah. Like, it's one of those things
like
where
child murderer is enough.
It's pretty low.
Right, exactly.
It's pretty low.
Like,
yeah.
Also, like the bizarre choice to like not put him in the sweater until they're coming to Frankenstein him, and then he runs in and puts on the sweater to be killed in is kind of odd.
He takes layers off. He's got 2 layers over top a sweater.
Oh, is that what it was? I thought he was shirtless for some reason.
No, he strips out of like his like. It looked like he was like a fireproof like mechanic's jacket, which would have been helpful in that scenario because
Also, like even like the factory thing, like I thought. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't want to belabor this. I thought you were meant to understand that to be like their dream projection of what the boiler room at the school looked like, but I guess in this one, it's an actual physical location someplace in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was also weird and goofy. And also the name of the preschool was called Bad Ham. It was like, what the fuck?
But I
That's a bad ham, Harry.
Bad ham. I'm going to eat me some bad ham.
Like the building he got like charbroiled in had like no other significance other than he ran to it. Right. Like that's not where he listed the children. I think what it's
supposed to be is because like in the original one, the boiler room is like comically huge for what would be at a school. Right, but that's because they're in a dream. The boiler
is comically huge from like what would be in the Pentagon.
Right, it's it's their dreamscape. Like it's meant to be like exaggerated. But in this, they're like, oh well, that's stupid. We got to explain why the boiler room's so big for some reason. So we'll just have this like a Terminator 2 factory in the middle of nowhere, Illinois.
Yeah, like the choices to ground the premise is like insane.
Like
he's
I want to
he's
be on the zoning board of Springview or whatever it is, where it's like, okay, we've got a preschool and an abandoned
Yeah.
factory
Yeah,
within
within
running distance.
yeah within less than a mile. We were just gonna have children under 6 and a place where we're just gonna make barium or something like.
Right.
Yeah.
Anywho, here's
Make barium.
hexachlorides.
How do you make barium, guys?
You dig it
Very
up, then
carefully.
you bury 'em.
Yeah.
Anywho, this movie sucks. Like, I don't know. I don't
Does
even want
anybody
to
have
talk about
anything
it.
to say about this fucking movie?
It's not even fun to jab at. Like, it's just.
They got me by killing off the blonde girl early. I thought she was going to be the main character. I was surprised.
Did you not see
she
the Heather Langenkamp as Nancy is like I guess that's the trope. So if you're not familiar with the original, then as soon as you heard the name Nancy, you're like, well, there's the final girl.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and it's funny because last week I talked about that movie The Passenger that I really liked, and I was talking about that actor that had a real his performance kind of made the movie for me. Well, that guy is the co-lead of this movie. That's the same guy, and it's crazy that I can see he was so good in that movie. And so, I mean,
we've had him in 3 movies now.
Yeah, he was in Jennifer's Body and Red State, which I forgot both of those movies. But it just goes to show you, Rudy Mara has been good and stuff. It just goes to show you that good actors, they're as only as good as the material that they're given. And also the direction in this movie is terrible. Everything is just shot the same flat, bland way. There's nothing there's no signature moment in this movie or scene that you'd remember in this fucking movie.
You
right?
just remember it in comparison to the other scenes that it's recreating.
Yeah, I mean, and it's it's one thing in a remake to try to kind of, I don't know, go back and pay homage to the original, but to just poorly remake iconic scenes like the bathtub scene or the fucking wall scene or the scene where that she's floating out of the bed and dying. That's kind of similar to how Johnny Depp gets killed, and it's just none of that shit works, and it just looks bad, and it's I don't know the choice where it's we're gonna remake this but it looks worse. Why would you do that? Why not just do something
because
different?
It's cheaper.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is.
Well, if they had made the thing a musical, since he was very good at music videos, this whole thing would have, landed a little better.
At least it'd have been a fresh idea. Good Lord.
Freddie the musical.
I mean, it worked with Chud too.
I be slashing. I be dreaming.
Anything else, guys? I apologize for picking this fucking movie.
It's just nothing to say.
It sucks all the air out of the space.
Yeah.
We asked Alec what his favorite part was.
Alec, was your favorite part about this movie the nightmares?
Or was it the street?
No. My favorite part was that they didn't kill the dog.
Yeah, yeah, I thought that dog was going to
I really thought that was going to happen. And I was going to be able to turn it off early, but I'm glad they didn't kill the dog.
They almost kill a dog in Fall Guy, and Gogs almost fell out of his chair.
I was worried they were going to John Wick that dog. I was genuinely concerned.
All right, 5 knuckle shuffle time for this piece of crap. Alec.
1.35 for being an hour and 35 minutes long.
Wow. Interesting take.
Other than that, bleh. No, there's nothing to it. And I don't think I've seen any of the Nightmare on Elm Streets. I get Freddy. I understand him through pop culture. And I've seen Freddy vs. Jason several times. That movie fucking absolutely slaps.
Hell yeah.
So I know what Freddy's supposed to be, but this ain't it. And yeah. And I do remember when this came out, thinking oh, Jackie Earle Haley is Freddy. That seems like it should be perfect. I was thinking oh, it'll be a darker, grittier Freddy, and it is, and it sucks.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's like what I think Sean said before about the Watchmen movie. It's like it's like a shot for shot pulled from the comics, and it's awful because it's so shot for shot. Like
Yeah.
they gave me what I expected, and I hated it.
Yeah. All right.
Sean,
It's a 0. This movie has no reason to exist. It's the worst kind of like cheap cash grab. The 5 writers, I think that we're gonna make it realistic, but then also fuck it, we're gonna do everything we did in the original movies because people actually like that, where it kind of clashes together. Like he's gonna slash his own throat, and then sometimes they're not hurting themselves, and there's some weird micro dosing fucking element that gets brought up in the Who Could Give a
Oh
Fuck.
yeah, what the fuck was that? Yeah.
Don't know. I don't know any of the characters' names except for Nancy, just because it was Nancy in the original movie.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's just, I don't know. Again, like, there's nothing to differentiate this from, like, every other Platinum Dune shit remake. Like, it's like, this might as well be The Crazies, or any of those fucking movies. It's just
crazy
so,
is that 10 compared to this.
yeah, fair
So
enough.
there were
But
so many of them too. Like it just, I remember like again, this was the remake like just like craze where it's just like we're
it's
just
just like this
remaking fucking everything.
miasma of bullshit. And, like, Freddy doesn't need to be on there every 10 seconds. And like, oh, he's a diddler. No, he's not. Yes, he is. Like, who cares? Like, I just want it to be
Yeah.
over with. And then they, like, the mother dying, callback at the end,
Oh
like,
yeah.
just looks really shitty.
Going through the
Like,
mirror and it's
It
like,
looks
yeah,
awful,
okay.
like her digital eyes and everything, which is
yeah, it looks like a fucking Borderlands, like, I just hated
Also,
it.
like,
Like,
I mean, I know that the killing Freddy conceit in every Nightmare movie is bad, but the one in this one is like, it's like, now you're in my world, and it's like, okay, I guess. Like,
yeah.
so it should be like, he should die like instantly because he's like a horrifically burned man. He should.
they still had superpowers, but in our
Right,
world, which
Or
was
right,
maybe
another
right,
he's
right.
thing.
maybe he's like a Joshua Graham. Maybe the fire inside of him burned brighter than the fire on the outside.
Nice
Uh,
Fallout reference.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, but this movie sucks dick. Cox.
So it is funny that we didn't get another one because it made 112 on a $35 million budget. So
That's
it
why they
didn't.
made it.
It's and it came out in 2010. Are we due? It's been 14 years. Are we due for someone to say, "Hey, shouldn't we remake A
No,
Nightmare on Elm Street"?
they keep talking about how Robert Englund wants to make one more. And so we'll probably get one more with him in
No,
it. And I mean, he can
fine.
still do it. I mean, it's not like,
Yeah,
he's
let the guys,
old.
let the people that made Psycho Gorman make it or something. Just make it fun.
That
You
would
know
Yeah,
what I
be
mean? Let
fun.
them go
Yeah.
out.
get
Yeah.
loose with it. But this movie sucked. It's no fun. It's joyless. It is unbelievably boring for what it should be. And in the first 10 minutes, it's just the most wooden, terrible performances and direction you can imagine. Like it is like
Like, what
AI
was the point of the
voice
cold
could have been
open?
better. I don't know what the point of the whole movie was. The whole
You
thing
know,
sucks shit end to end.
I hate to interrupt you, but we watched Wes Craven's A New Nightmare, which is a movie I think we're all on record as hating to varying degrees. And like, I do hate
Yes.
that movie, but at least they were trying something.
It's
At least
something.
they're like, it's something, like, but there's just nothing there.
The whole point of the cold open was to feature 2010 sweetheart Kellen Lutz.
Oh, that was him.
Who the fuck I don't remember him from anything else. What else did he do?
He's from the Twilight.
He was a
movies.
quarterback for
He was
Boise
one of
State.
That
Yeah. He's not the one who beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl. That's
yeah,
Shout out to Kellens.
the like highlights from that game pop up on my TikTok like once a month, and every time I watch the whole last like 5 minutes of that game, it's fucking absolutely batshit bonkers crazy.
but anywho, I don't think I actually gave my
football the podcast.
Shout out
What
football.
was your score?
Well, my score, in case you couldn't have guessed, was a 0. This movie is just trash. It's worse than I remember. I was really kind of hoping that it wouldn't be as bad as I recalled, but it turns out my brain hid some stuff from me because it is trash.
Also what I was hoping that it was, it's funny. We talk about this all the time, but like, look up any any movie that you remember as being bad and someone's wrote a thing where it's not as bad as you remember it. This movie has gotten that treatment, and it's like, no, it's worse than I remember it,
Significantly
actually.
worse. TJ, your scores.
It's one of those weird things where it's like, technically by our metric, it should be a 5, because I just don't care. I'm gonna forget, but it's terrible. So it's like a 1, because I was like, I guess it did elicit an emotional response from me because I was so bored and so immediately just like checked out of this fucking movie. And like, and I'm not surprised this guy directed music videos and never directed another movie, because he has no vision. Like, there's nothing here. It's just literally like a checklist movie. Like, they just were like, all right, let's get, like, it just seems like a movie. There's like, all right, let's get this done. Apparently, I was reading up on like a horror subreddit. And I guess, like, at the time, Rooney Mara, it was, like, basically quoted as saying, like, she didn't want anything to do with this movie, and, like, she had a phoned-in performance. It's like, yeah, I don't blame her. I don't blame her at all. This movie sucks shit. She probably read the script and was like, this is terrible. And, like, yeah, I get it. I get why you wouldn't want to put any effort into it. Also, like, not for nothing, if you're going to remake Nightmare, like, why don't you remake one of the fun ones? Like, remake Dream Warriors. I know it wasn't first, but, like, who cares? Like, you can watch any of the Nightmare movies. Like, chronologically.
You can jump right into the idea that these kids are being terrorized by this nightmare demon and they power up. Like, that's fun.
Yeah, just make some, again, but that would require you to, like, put, like, an ounce of effort into anything in this movie. Like, it is so just boilerplate.
Yeah, you just get like 3 teenage girls and give them like vague spider powers, and then you'll have a movie. That's how movies
honestly
work.
a better movie than this. No, I don't know. I'll take that back. I don't know if Madam Web's better than this.
No.
Anyway, so yeah, this movie fucking sucks shit, dude. It's awful. It's a 1 for me. That's 0 for me, dog.
That's generous. I say 1's very generous.
It's a 0 for me, dog. All right, so. Is it your pick next week? Are we watching Roadhouse?
I'm sticking to Roadhouse.
Yeah, I don't have one yet, so.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
I'm not going to be around next week, so I'll try to send something in.
Well, you did already watch it, so.
Yeah, I'll be in Grand Cayman.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I'll try to get something recorded.
I believe it's pronounced Canyon.
You'll be in the Grand Canyon.
Oh, no, okay.
Wrong plane.
Anyway. All right, everybody. All right. That's the show. Next week, Roadhouse. Get ready for a road and a house. We went from Elm Street to Roadhouse. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You get it. Avenue.
Yep, there's a whole building connection there. I hate this. This sucks. This movie's so bad we can't even end the episode properly.
Bye.
Eat shit and die, everybody.
Bye.